Hey everyone, so I just wanted to do a quick video giving you a rundown of the currently implemented Feral Druid Legendaries at this stage of the beta. We still don't have our conduits yet for the Soulbinds, but those are bound to be very strong, and we'll just kind of have to wait and see how those end up playing out. But so far, with some of the Legendaries that we've got, bear in mind we are still missing one Feral Legendary that hasn't yet been implemented. Currently, we've got a pretty decent spread of legendaries for a whole range of different talents and a whole range of different environments, depending on what you're going to be looking to do. So, the way that you're going to unlock legendaries, very briefly, is via the Tower of Torghast, and you're going to be doing these Torghast runs in order to acquire these legendary patterns and the currency in order to craft these legendaries. You're then going to make use of the crafting profession, say leatherworking and potentially like jewel crafting and whatnot, in order to make the actual pieces of gear that you then put the legendary and power effect on. You then are going to have access to, oh, of course I choose one that doesn't have one. You're then going to have the power to choose what stat weights you want your legendary to have, which is really, really cool. In fact, if I even click there, you can see that it even just says add secondary stats, which is really, really cool. So in terms of what legendary powers ferals actually are going to have available, currently, like I say, we're still missing one. But Bear or Guardian Druids have this Berserk and Bear form grants 25% increased damage, 25% leech, and immunity to effects that cause loss of control of character. I imagine that the final Feral Druid Legendary might end up being something similar and might be quite a big buff to Berserk. That would be great to see, but I also feel like I still don't want to invest my legendary in such a dog shit cooldown. I'd rather Berserk just get buffed elsewhere. But maybe if this is what it's going to take to make it viable, let's see. But this is still unconfirmed. We don't know. That's just speculation, but we'll see. We then have Tiger's Fury causes your next finishing move to restore 3 combo points. So this is when you use Tiger's Fury. This isn't for the duration of Tiger's Fury. All finishers do this. This is just the one time every time you use Tiger's Fury. So that's going to be very effective with the Predator talent. So whenever things are dying in large numbers very, very quickly and regularly, then this is going to be a very strong talent to take. Or a very strong legendary to take, because you're going to get constantly, like, you're going to be using 2 globals and then you can get a finisher, which could end up being pretty strong. In a single target raid-esque type environment, I don't know how strong this is going to be. Realistically, that would mean that every 30 seconds you get one, you save yourself potentially 3 combo point generators, which for me doesn't sound very strong, but who knows? It could end up being decently powerful. Rip damage has a 4% chance to make your next Ferocious Bite free and deal maximum damage. So this one is currently my favorite legendary. I know initially people look at it and go, well, that's not very strong at all. Rip for 4%, 4% chance, that's tiny. But this works in conjunction with Primal Wrath. So you can be in an AoE scenario, bearing in mind that Primal Wrath and Thrash are both AoE uncapped abilities, and whilst you're Primal Wrath in, you're getting 4% chance on each of these mobs here. Suddenly, you're getting very regular, consistent, ferocious bites, and you can definitely fit these into your AoE window because of energy pooling and whatnot. And also, the priority damage of these rips is so strong that it's going to be very beneficial just to maintain Primal Wrath on every mob, and then just be looking for these ferocious bites as and when you can. So really, really cool. So far, looking pretty powerful. Now we have this legendary, which initially doesn't look very strong, but when you combine it with some of the Covenants, actually looks quite appealing. So effects of Thick Hide, Astral Influence, Feline Swiftness, and Ysera's Gift increase by 100%. So this is increasing the potency of any of your balance affinities, any of your Druid affinity talents, right? By 100%. Which, that's nice, that's cool, that's quite cute. Could be pretty strong in, say, PvP and whatnot. But it doesn't really scream to you, it doesn't scream out to you. What I really like about this legendary, though, is when you shift into your affinity's form, you gain Heart of the Wild for 15 seconds once every minute. Now, when you combine this legendary with Convoke the Spirits of the Night Fae Covenant, then suddenly you can ensure that your Heart of the Wild is triggered every single time you use Convoke the Spirit, or Convoke of the Spirits, which means that you can set up for AoE in a mob pack, you Primal Wrath, Thrash, and then you jump into balance, balance form, and then use Convoke Spirits. And you do Starfall, Full Moon, you do Moonfire, Starfire, Wraths, so suddenly all of your balance affinity abilities are increased by 30% every single time you're using Convoke the Spirits, and not only that, it then frees up your ability to then not have to take Heart of the Wild, and you can end up taking Mighty Bash or Mass Entangle, which could be very beneficial depending on, what scenario your team is facing. So that seems like a very, very cool, unique, strong legendary when used in conjunction with Night Fae, which I think is quite flavorful, that different covenants might have different benefits of different legendaries. That's quite cool. We then have your damage over time effects occur 25% more quickly, and your healing over time effects occur 10% more quickly. So this is kind of like a Jagged Wound style legendary, and I think that this could make playing Blood Talons feel a lot more fluid, a lot less punishing, and sometimes in your rotation, you have to end up overriding your currently used Thrash and Rake in order to get your next Blood Talons, your next finisher snapshot with Blood Talons, and it can feel a bit shitty at times. So by having Jagged Wounds here with this legendary trait, it means that basically we're going to have a more comfortable time using Blood Talons. So I'm all for that legendary. That looks great. We then have when Moonfire, Rake, Rip, or Rejuvenation on a single target, their effects are increased by 30%. So this to me looks like a really good single target patchwork style single target raid boss legendary, or potentially used in arena if, say, you're trying to burst down one specific target at a time. Could be really, really cool. I don't know. We'll have to see how that meta evolves. This also kind of is a massive buff to Lunar Inspiration by having, and what with the nerf to Sabretooth, suddenly Lunar Inspiration is looking very, very powerful with this legendary equipped. So between this legendary and this legendary, you've got some real solid raid options, you've got some really good AoE options. I think we're also missing one legendary here that hasn't been spoken about yet. The final one is clear casting abilities generate 25% of their energy cost, and your maximum energy is increased by 60. Initially, I thought this would be very strong with MOC, but as time goes on, I think this is actually going to be really powerful with Blood Talons and Sabretooth, a talent build style that suffers from low energy and from high pooling requirements. So this one actually seems really strong with those environments. When you play MOC and say Incon, suddenly energy isn't really an issue at all. And say like Predator, suddenly energy isn't an issue at all. So yeah, this could be a really cool legendary to basically mean that you can take Sabretooth and you no longer need to take Predator, or you can take Blood Talons and Soul, and you can just have a way better time playing with Blood Talons. So yeah, but let me know in the comments what you think of these legendaries. Let me know what the final legendary you think might be, or what you would like to see it be. And yeah, if you thought of any cool, quirky ideas that I didn't think of where these legendaries might be beneficial, then let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.